Hi and welcome to Ottawa Eats. I'm your host, Tom Schoch. When it comes to fine dining, if you want to go out and have a lovely evening, maybe you've done something horrible and you need to apologize, or maybe you're celebrating an anniversary. If you want to come somewhere that should be number one on your list, you got to think about the number 18, Restaurant 18, here in the heart of the Byward Market on York Street. That's where we are today for Ottawa Eats on Rogers TV. Welcome to Ottawa Eats. This is Kirk, and Kirk, this is a beautiful establishment. Thank you so much for having us here today.
Not a problem.
I love the, what people see whenever they come in here, but let's talk about the food and why people would come here. So what do you do at 18?
Our focus at Restaurant 18 is on cooking ethically. So for us, what that means is preserving fruits and vegetables during the summer so that we can use them all winter long.
Okay.
You bringing in whole animals so that we can butcher them down ourselves, use every part so that nothing goes to waste. Working with local farmers and local producers to keep the revenue flowing within our community rather than elsewhere.
Okay, so, and that's something you're seeing a lot now in restaurants. A lot of people are kind of going that way, but you guys have been doing this for quite some time. So you personally, here in Ottawa, you had mentioned to me before we started the show, what 2 years you've been here?
Yeah, about 2 years in September.
Okay, so the restaurant business, you've obviously had a little bit of experience. So tell us a little bit about where you've been and how you ended up here.
Well, I'm originally from Toronto. I spent 10 years in Vancouver, kind of coming up, cooking my way up to chefs and executive chef kind of level. Started a family, and my wife and I decided that Vancouver was just a little bit too expensive to live in.
Yeah.
So we decided to make the move to Ottawa, and we came here about 2 years September and fell into Restaurant 18. They were looking for a chef.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the right place at the right time, and have been loving it ever since.
You guys have an amazing reputation.
Thank you.
You've won some awards. Can we talk about some of those awards?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Why not? Let's brag a little bit right off the top. Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be our third year that we've got the CA for Diamond Award, which is probably for me one of the highest recognitions in my career that I've ever achieved.
Now, if people don't know what that is, what does that mean?
So basically, the CAA puts out a list of restaurants in Canada, USA, Caribbean, and Mexico of levels of distinction, and they're qualified by number of diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 4 diamonds, 5 diamonds, what have you. Mm-hmm. And there's only about 600 restaurants between all those countries that qualify for.
Wow.
4 diamonds, and we are one of them. We're one of only 2 in Ottawa, us and Becta Dining and Wine.
Okay, there you go. Wow, so a very prestigious award, and a couple other ones that you want to throw out there too?
I mean, there are, not that I know of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have a participation award for when I was in grade 6 and we had to run. That was good. Yeah, I'm very much in shape. Can you tell? You want to have a race later?
Sure.
Yeah?
Down the market?
Yeah. I think that'll go well. But we're going to race into the kitchen. We're going to see what they do here, so stick around. It's Ottawa Eats on Rogers TV. Ottawa Eats and Restaurant 18 in this beautiful, immaculate kitchen that you yourself, just you, have cleaned, obviously. If the staff watches this, they'll be very angry with you. We're going to make 3 beautiful dishes here, and what are we going to start off with first today?
We're going to start off with a seared foie gras dish.
Okay, so foie gras, if people don't know, is?
Fattened duck liver.
All right, and a lot of people, if they've never tried it before, what could you compare it to?
You can compare it to if you've ever had sea urchin before. Mm-hmm. It's kind of that unctuous, velvety, really rich texture.
Unctuous. Okay, that's a. I'm gonna have to look that one up. I don't know. Okay, so what's first here? What are we looking at, and when it comes to the ingredients and what you're working with?
So this would be the whole lobe of foie gras.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the fattened duck liver as it would be harvested from the animal.
Okay.
Now it takes a little bit of butchery to break it down into basically a part that looks like this.
Okay.
So we've taken all of the connective tissue out, all of the veins, and we've basically shaped it into this little torsion, and this is what we're going to be working with right now.
Right.
So we're just going to score it a little bit just to give it a little bit of aesthetic value here.
Now, was anything done to this before, or is this just the pure?
This is just the liver.
Okay.
I'm a bit of a purist. I don't like messing up things too much.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to keep this as is. We're going to season with a little bit of salt. We're going to give a nice hard sear, and it's going to spend about 4 to 6 minutes in the oven.
Okay, all right. Now, with something like this, do you have to be careful of a burn, or is it something you have to watch all the time, or can you just kind of let it do its thing?
because foie gras is so fatty, this is something you're going to want to pay close attention to.
Okay.
If you zhuzh it a little bit too quickly, that hot oil is going to end up on you, and then you're going to end up in the hospital.
Keep my distance here. Safety first in the kitchen, especially when I'm here.
Yeah, you don't want to burn the host. That's rule number one of television, right?
My face!
So I can kind of tell by the amount of time that we've gotten there. I'm going to flip it over. There we go. So a little bit of color, and then straight into the oven.
Right. So that's going to be in there for what, 4 or 5 minutes?
Yeah, we're going to get about 4 or 5 minutes. It's
Okay.
really all dependent on how thick the piece of foie is. Obviously, the thicker, a little bit more time, thinner, a little bit less time.
Right.
So cooking's not an exact science.
No, it's an art.
It is an art. That's what they tell me. So in the meantime, we're going to get all of our garnishes ready for the plate.
Okay.
So one of the garnishes we're going to be using is this nice in-house made brioche.
Very
So
nice.
for those of us who don't know what brioche is, it is basically a butter French bread. Okay?
Yeah.
So into the pan, I just put a little bit of butter. We're going to swirl that around and make it all happy. And then into that pan of butter, because there's not enough butter in here, goes the brioche. Okay? And then we're just going to toast that.
I've always said that really great food and really great cooking is probably not going to meet too many dietary restriction kind of things, you know?
Foie gras does not. I'll
No,
tell you that right
no.
now.
If you're a health nut,
You might not want to.
No.
So for the plate, I promised you were going to get something to do
Yes.
today. All right, so here it comes. We have these lovely pickled red Anjou
Which you had mentioned,
pears
right,
that
yeah.
we made in the summertime. Hopefully we're getting a nice little pop off of here. There we go.
and have some hot peppers in there too.
Yeah, so this is a little bit kind of Chinese spiced up. We have some hot chilies in there. We have some star anise, a little bit of bay leaf, some cinnamon sticks, and all very
And the
very
smell
warm
is
flavors.
amazing too.
So you slice those up however you like.
Okay, I'm gonna try and be
Oh, that's beautiful.
a little bit
Look at
artsy.
that. Are you sure you were never a chef in a previous life?
Absolutely. You know how many times I've almost cut my thumb off? We'll say less than 10, more than 6.
Oh, those are beautiful. I mean,
Alright,
if
there we
you're
go.
if you're looking for a job, if this doesn't work out.
It's not working out. Yeah.
So we got our lovely pears there. We're gonna do a little bit of beet puree.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get a very lovely kind of earthy sweetness out of beets, especially
Yeah.
when they're pureed down like this. But we don't want to mess around with it too much.
Wow, that's a great color. Beets have to be one of the most beautiful colored vegetables there are. Absolutely.
Alrighty, so we have that down, and then what we're gonna do is our foie gras plates are already very well balanced usually. We have a beet puree. We want something with a little bit of crunch on it. Okay, we get a little bit of this pumpkin seed and oat granola down. And there's no real rhyme or reason to the way that it's gonna end up on the plate. Everything's just gonna kind of end up there. Another thing that we can pull from our pickle and preserve wall is a Earl Grey and peach preserve.
Wow.
So this is something that we created in the summer that's really fun.
When you're making your preserves, are you coming together with your staff and thinking, okay, that worked well last year, let's try this a little bit different this year?
It's
or
a massive brainstorming session.
Yeah?
And everybody gets involved.
Bring in grandma's recipes if you got one.
We do, we asked everybody, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to work with? Like, what kind of flavors do you want to explore this year? And everybody comes together, and then we kind of put together a plan. And then we just go.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of hours, and we spend
hope
a lot
to God
of
it
time.
turns out okay.
And hope to God it turns
Yeah.
out okay. So that foie is pretty much ready to go. So on the plate here, we have our brioche, we have a crumble, we have a beet puree, we have your beautiful pickled pear. So we'll put the piece of foie right on top of the toasted brioche. And then we're going to take your lovely pickled pear here that's been so expertly cut.
The sarcasm is dripping.
Pear goes on the plate. We're going to take a little mulled and salt just to finish. And we also have a little bit of chervil. Have you ever had chervil before?
No, what is chervil?
So chervil's in the kind of the similar family to parsley and celery. It's got a little bit of a kind of anise, kind of a black licorice kind of flavor, background flavor to it. I'm just going to use some of that, a little delicate garnish. And that's pretty much what we're looking at for our foie plate.
Very nice. Beautiful. Restaurant 18, Foie Gras, right there. And I will not be slicing the pears if you come here. I promise. It's for the best. Welcome back to Ottawa Eats. So for dish number 2, we thought we'd do something very cool. I love this, that people are starting to use this in a restaurant, but octopus.
It's a great ingredient, and you know what? It sells very well at this restaurant, so I'm extremely happy to have it on the menu.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people are afraid of for various reasons. They've never actually seen one in real life.
Who knows?
They've never, they have no idea what it actually tastes like. If you've never had it before, can you give it a comparison as well?
That's going to be hard. It's almost uncomparable to anything else that you've had in the sea. I mean, some people might want to compare it to calamari. I think it's its own entity. It's got its own texture, its own flavor. Very approachable, though. Some people might be scared just by the looks of it.
Right.
But taste-wise,
yeah.
I think it's great. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off by grilling the octopus. So I'm just going to come over here and quickly season this. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Give her a little flip there. A little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper. And then onto a hot grill. So that's going to kind of hang out, and in the meantime, we get to make a little bit of soft polenta.
Okay.
So one of my most favorite things to eat and make, and actually serve people, I think it's very, very delicious. So we're going to get a liter of milk here. You can use skim, you can use 2% homogenized, whatever you want to use.
Right.
At the restaurant, we use 2%. Find the fat ratio is pretty good. We're going to bring this up to a simmer, and then we're going to add our yellow cornmeal to that, a little bit of salt, a little bit of butter, and that's going to be the base for our grilled octopus dish.
Okay.
While we're waiting for that, we're just going to give our octopus a little bit of a flip here. There we go. So we're starting to get some nice color on there. So the whole dishes are going to complement each other. We're going to have roasty octopus flavor. We're going to have roasty corn flavor, sweet seafood, sweet corn. So it's all going to go together. And what we're going to tie it together with is some of this. And this is a chermoula stew. Now, for those of us who aren't very familiar with the word chermoula, where it comes from, this is a typical North African mixture found in Morocco and surrounding area. So what this is a mixture of tomatoes, onions, garlic, a little bit of cilantro, some parsley, a little bit of cumin seed toasted and ground up, olive oil and salt. Now it can be like this, as you see here, kind of like a wet stewy kind of mixture, or it can also be found in that region as a dry spice mixture.
Again, with a lot of the food that you do here, beautiful color. It has an excellent looking texture as well, and with the octopus and then the polenta together, that'll be very interesting.
Yeah,
I want to drink that milk, by the way. Anybody have any? Do you have any cookies?
So to our milk, just to season it up a little bit, we're gonna add some salt there, just a little bit of pepper.
Does the cooking time differ if it's 1% as opposed to 2% or whole milk? Or
the cooking time won't necessarily vary. The only time that'll vary is the amount of time it takes to come up to a boil. Okay. But the cornmeal itself within that hot milk mixture won't vary too much. Give one more flip of our octopus here. It's looking great over there. And I'm starting to see some bubbles here, so this milk is almost doing what we need it to do. Alrighty, so our milk has come to a boil, and to this liter of milk, I'm going to add 125 milliliters of yellow cornmeal. And we're going to whisk that in, and kind of the trick here is to make sure you're whisking thoroughly, because you don't want lumpy. Nobody likes lumpy polenta. So I'm going to continue to whisk that, and this is going to tighten up for me. Or at least I hope it's going to tighten up for me, or else we're going to be left with milky porridge here.
And also, if you're not whisking, it's probably going to boil over as well.
Yeah, I mean, we are one of the two. I mean, we are dealing with dairy, so the likelihood of it boiling over is quite high. But there we go. So it's going to start to kind of do its little thing here. And in the meantime, we're going to take this octopus. Oh yeah. There we go. We're going to very gingerly slice this octopus.
The meat is white.
It is a white meat, and in saying that, the only reason that the outside of this octopus is kind of this purpley tinge is because we have a top secret marinade that goes onto the octopus for 24 hours after we braise it.
Is it jam?
It is not.
Beets?
It's
Grape juice. I'm out of ideas. I don't know anything else that's purple.
It's a red wine-based marinade, but
okay.
that's one of the reasons that the octopus, again, doesn't just taste like octopus. So we're constantly trying to infuse it with a lot of flavor here.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to come back to our polenta, which has done exactly what I needed it to do. We're going to turn that off there. So we have this lovely roasted, sweet corn polenta here.
By the way, we're going to start a Kickstarter campaign to maybe get smell-o-vision as an actual thing, because I keep telling people you have to be able to smell these things, but just seeing it and seeing the steam come off it and the aroma is amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get you to kind of help me out here a little bit again. We have a herb salad mixture. So in there you're going to find a little bit of baby kale, some locally greenhoused greens, and just a little bit of whole leaf parsley. If you want to go ahead and dump that into the bowl, we got a little bit of smoked olive oil, a little bit of lemon juice. You can season to your discretion.
Okay. Hey, Ian, camera guy, how do you like your salad? Really soggy? Like it really soggy? Okay. I'll give you a really soggy. So this is the olive oil here?
That is the olive oil.
All right.
You have salt right in front of you there.
Okay.
So on top of the polenta, what we've done is put a little bit of that chermoula stew. And then to that, we're going to add our pieces of octopus. Now, I love this tentacle end piece. It looks like something out of, I don't know, a comic book or a cartoon. We're going to artfully arrange our little pieces of octopus just kind of all over the place. There we are. And you have a salad for us.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that looks great.
Yeah.
Again, there's a job here whenever you need it.
It's looking good. Yeah.
And we're just going to top this with our little salad mixture. And there we are. That's our grilled octopus with soft polenta and chermoula stew.
Beautiful. All right, and for people that are afraid of polenta or octopus, need not be afraid.
Need not be afraid.
Restaurant 18, Ottawa Eats. Dish number 3 on Ottawa Eats, Restaurant 18, and you're going to put me to work again here, but what are we making for dish number 3?
We're going to do a new menu item that won't be appearing until next week, actually. We're doing a Butterpoached Lobster with a squash aerated soup and a little bit of seasonal vegetables.
Okay. Sounds complicated.
It's very simple.
Oh, okay, good. Because if it was complicated, we're just going to cut this part of the show. Okay, so what do we do first?
So I'm going to get you to cut up those vegetables. We have some lovely purple and orange carrots and some Valentine radish there. You cut those up however you like. I am not picky at all. While you're doing
Thank
that...
God. Maybe you were big. You're on your own there, bud.
While he's doing that, I'm just going to blanch some of these English peas here straight into a big pot of boiling salted water. And we're going to take our lobster. Now on the stove, what I have warming up here is a little bit of a beurre monté. So this is butter, a little bit of lemon juice, and some white wine. Now this is fairly warm. Our lobster's already been a little bit pre-blanched, so we're just going to put it in this bath to kind of warm up. It's going to give it a nice buttery kind of finish to it. So all the little lobster pieces go in there to get real happy. We're just going to kind of let them chill out there for a second.
Did I ever tell you how much I hate cutting carrots?
Oh, but look at the beautiful cuts, huh? That's just lovely.
I'm not kidding. I almost cut my thumb off last year. I can't feel a part of it anymore. If I hurt myself, I blame you. We don't have insurance here.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take these lovely vegetables here.
Is a big part of this the color for you guys? Because, I mean, the taste of these carrots is what, probably similar to a regular carrot?
Well, not so much that you buy at the store. This is an heirloom breed of carrot. So this is going to taste more, if I can say, carroty than your normal grocery store
whatever
carrot.
you want, actually. Yeah.
This should have a little bit more of a true carrot flavor. It should be
sweeter.
It is sweeter. It should taste more like a carrot. Whereas a lot of times store-bought carrots just taste a little bit watered down, and that carrot flavor isn't very pronounced.
Okay.
And then yes, the color, because you do eat with your eyes a little bit.
Yes,
so.
you do.
And then we're going to take your lovely veg. They're going to join the peas that are already in the water there. And we're going to go right in with a little bit of green kale. This is one of the, I think, unsung heroes of the fall vegetable. This stuff will actually grow through about 3 feet of snow. Super hardy. You can see farmers out there in December and January cutting down green kale plants.
This will still grow after it snows.
And it only gets better. It only gets sweeter. which is the funny part. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I found that it grows like a weed in the garden. It really does, because it's easier to grow than lettuce. It's more heat tolerant, and it doesn't mind being in the shade either.
well, it's a very versatile, very hardy vegetable. So it lends itself very well to winter cooking. So quick blanch on all those vegetables, all the beautiful colors we got going on there, and into a bowl. In this bowl, I just have a little bit of a herb butter.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna season this up with a little bit of salt. Just give it a little bit of a toss. There we go. And again, that's where your colors come into play. Runaway pea. And then we have our lobster that we just poached off in a little bit of this lovely beurre monte.
Wow.
So you can see all that butter just clinging to the lobster for dear life. It's going to give it such a lovely richness. So the first thing that's going to go down on this plate is our aerated soup. Now,
Okay.
like I said, we made a very thick puree out of the squash, and we've added a little bit of cream to that. Now we're going to put that down. Now I haven't tested this either, so if this blows up in my face, either literally or figuratively,
We'll send it in for Funniest Home Videos. It'll be great.
there we go. Oh no, it's gonna play. There we go. So on the base, we have our aerated soup. On top of that, we have our lovely vegetables we just blanched off, and then the coup de grace, the final touch on the plate, will be our lobster tail that we've poached off in butter. Now what we've crusted that with is we've taken a little bit of rice, boiled it off, we've dehydrated it, and then what we've done is we've pulverized that and added a little bit of herbs to it, some fresh herbs, some chives, some shinjuku, a little bit of fresh tarragon, and that's going to sit right on top of this mixture. And that's our butter poached lobster dish.
Wow, that's an amazing looking dish. There you go. Restaurant 18, the beautiful sights and smells, which you can't enjoy right now, unfortunately. We're working on it with our Kickstarter campaign. And we're going to try the taste in just a second here on Ottawa Eats.
Smell-o-vision 2017.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah. Primary investor, right?
Of course.
So that does it for another episode of Ottawa Eats. Thanks so much for watching. And you, sir,
Not a
are
problem.
a magician with this food and these beautiful colors. Where can people find you if they want to find out more about the restaurant, make reservations?
The best place would probably be restaurant18.com. Obviously, our website's got all the information, upcoming events, reservations, anything of that nature. We're also on Open Table.
Yeah, and if you are coming here during the winter months, you will see these probably adorning the wall behind us here. These lovely preserves that they actually make themselves, and these are absolutely amazing. So, yeah, the pickled pears. Never had it before, so if you ever come in, just ask for something in the menu that maybe has something this in it, and it would be great. So I'm going to try this. This is the octopus. What can I expect here, other than a glorious feast?
You can expect memories of eating grilled octopus on a beach in southern Italy.
I don't know. Was I there? Was it one of the champagne bottles that got us there?
Yeah.
All right.
We're 3 magnums deep.
Thanks for watching Ottawa Eats. That is so good. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know what to say.
Anytime, man. Anytime.